Is Oak Island hiding something? Have investigators discovered some sort of secret stash or sinister plot? Learn the truth behind the shocking findings that have everyone questioning the official story. Come along with us on a thrilling adventure as we explore the secrets that were never meant to be revealed. Are you prepared to learn the truth? Oak Island's Lost Gold. The legendary Oak Island treasure is one of the few lost treasure mysteries that has attracted such a diverse group of people over such a long time period. Oak Island is a small privately owned island of 140 acres located off the coast of Nova Scotia in eastern Canada's maritime provinces. One of the many legends surrounding the discovery of the Oak Island treasure, the one that has stood the test of time, is the one that begins in the summer of 1795, when a young Nova Scotian fisherman named Daniel McGinnis was exploring the area around Mahone Bay on Oak Island. McGinnis, intent on finding out what it was, returned the next day with some pals, equipped with pickaxes for excavating. The kids quickly unearthed the top of what was clearly a man-made shaft that had been buried by dirt layers surrounding the hole that had initially aroused McGinnis's interest. The 225-year quest for a pirate's lost loot. During the heyday of piracy in the late 17th and early 18th centuries, it was widely believed that Oak Island served as a safe refuge for pirates sailing up and down the east coast of North America and down into the Caribbean. They may have questioned if they had stumbled upon a pirate captain's hidden wealth. The island was built above a glacial tumulus, so as they dug further, water began to seep into the hole. Even though no treasure was actually buried there, the legend surrounding the fabled riches has kept people coming to Oak Island for the past 225 years. The original shaft, dug by McGinnis and his companions, has become known as the Money Pit. But the scope of the search has expanded in the years afterwards. But what precisely is this fabled treasure? Treasure-related hypotheses. There is a wide variety of speculation regarding the nature of the Oak Island treasure, from the reasonable to the outlandish. The most widely held and believable is that it is the legendary loot of a renowned pirate from the so-called Golden Age of piracy, which lasted from the 1660s to the 1730s. The seas along the east coast of North America, from Canada to the Caribbean, were frequented by notorious pirates and buccaneers such as Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, during this time period. The governments of Spain, England, France, and other powers, having a vested interest in preserving their shipping in this area, did little to curb the rampant piracy that plagued the seas during this time, even if the colonial ships they targeted were carrying important goods back to Europe. Concerted attacks on pirates in the western Atlantic finally put an end to the golden era of piracy when the major European nations inserted a stipulation to crack down on the pirates in the Treaty of Utrecht, which ended the War of the Spanish Succession in 1713. Treasure of Oak Island and Captain Kidd. Captain William Kidd, a Scottish pirate from the 1690s, is widely believed to have buried a massive fortune during one of his journeys. And this is a theory most people have been thinking of the Oak Island fortune. Is it possible that some of Captain Kidd's loot was hidden on that island? As far as we know, Kidd is the only prominent pirate character for whom there is evidence of where he concealed his wealth, particularly a cache which he buried in Gardiner's Island off the eastern shore of Long Island. Are the obstacles in the building deliberate, or did nature provide them? The Money Pit and Oak Island. Whether or not the Oak Island money hole was created by humans is a topic of much debate. The geological evidence suggests that the money hole was probably not a man-made underground vault. The waves and groundwater have a tendency to dissolve the island's bedrock. As a result, a system of faults and caves develops beneath the surface, which can eventually give way, resulting in natural sinkholes. Nonetheless, the island's appeal has drawn treasure hunters. Speculation about the pit's origins has been fueled by these tales. New hypotheses concerning the Oak Island hoard. There are other, more fantastic explanations for the Oak Island treasure. The Holy Grail and Ark of the Covenant, two biblical relics most commonly associated with the legendary riches of the Knights Templar, have been linked to the Money Pit by some. the jewels of the notorious French Queen Marie Antoinette, according to a different version. The jewels are presumed to be in Nova Scotia, since the maidservant to whom Marie Antoinette handed them during the French Revolution in 1789 later fled to England. A proposal, proposed in the 1950s, has to win the award for being the most far-fetched explanation for the whereabouts of the Oak Island treasure. In this theory, Francis Bacon, a prominent political figure and philosopher from the early modern period, is presented as the true author of William Shakespeare's works, and the Money Pit holds evidence proving this. Since no one has been able to enter the Money Pit or find any wealth anywhere else on Oak Island, a wide variety of theories has developed as to what the Money Pit actually contains. What did they unearth in Oak Island's Money Pit? Since McGinnis's discovery of the Money Pit in the 1790s, there has been no shortage of treasure hunters and explorers prepared to go in search of the Oak Island treasure, despite the fact that nobody knows for sure what it is or even if it exists. Several businesses, including the Onslow Company, were formed in the early 1800s to conduct excavations at the Money Pit and elsewhere on the island. Despite their best efforts, water continually flooded the lower levels of the Money Pit as they dug deeper and deeper into the underground caverns. In fact, the Money Pit becomes so intricately booby-trapped with flood tunnels at a depth of roughly 60 meters below the surface that no one has ever found a way to permanently prevent flooding in the pit, nor has anyone ever reached its bottom. Random artifacts, such as old parchment, rusty iron, and a stone with intricate carvings, have been found over the years, adding to the impression of a carefully guarded burial chamber and convincing many explorers that there is something of value to be found on Oak Island. Some well-known people have frequented there over the years. Searching for the hidden gold. As a young man, 32nd U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt became fascinated by the story after hearing his father talk about the family's business dealings in Nova Scotia. His lifelong pursuit of Oak Island updates began in earnest in 1939, and he had scheduled a trip there before the advent of World War II in Europe derailed his plans. Actors Errol Flynn and John Wayne, both popular in the 1950s and 1960s, put money into separate searches for the Oak Island treasure. Despite their futility, these efforts continue to yield evidence that both fascinates and baffles the public. A camera was lowered into the Money Pit in the 1970s, and the resulting photograph shows what may be a wooden chest and the bones of a human hand, leading some to conclude that this is indeed the location of long-lost pirate riches. Treasure hunts on the island continue to attract treasure hunters in the modern era. Over the past 20 to 30 years, a number of businesses have set up tourist attractions here, and some of them have even obtained licenses to keep looking for the mythical wealth of Oak Island. Have the treasures of Oak Island been discovered? Oak Island is one of the more intriguing legends of fabled treasure to have circulated in the contemporary century, but we may never know if there is gold buried there, either at the Money Pit or elsewhere on this little territory off Nova Scotia. Oak Island's possible role as a pirate haven in the 17th or 18th centuries and the subsequent burial of stolen loot is not as far-fetched as the idea that it hides the jewels of an infamous French queen or provides proof that Francis Bacon is the true author of Hamlet and Macbeth. The unusual character of the location, which McGinnis and his pals began exploring in 1795, only adds to the complexity of the situation. In this case, we have a glacial formation that is constantly flooded with water, and the discovery of odd artifacts, such as a stone with unusual symbols, and video footage of what appears to be a chest and a skeleton deep within the Money Pit, has only added to the mystery surrounding this place. In light of this information, it is not surprising that Oak Island has garnered so much interest over the years. Perhaps real gold or other valuables will be found here one day. Wow! That's a fascinating backstory to the Oak Island. I'm sure it will fascinate any viewer. Please click the like button and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video.